It takes vision. See, you may look around and see, wow, this is a big event. I look here and say, no, this is what our leadership training should be like. See, I'm not satisfied with this being the event. I'm satisfied, or closer to my satisfaction, with this just being the leaders. And having 10,000 people outside hoping and looking through the windows and wondering, what are they talking about? What are they discussing in there? What is he teaching them in there? But see, it takes a person with vision. It takes a person with vision. See, yesterday we had a leadership training, and there were people outside. What is he talking about? Some of you are out there, what is he talking about? Because I remember when I was coming up in network marketing, and they would have these big leadership meetings, and all you had to do was to do 2,500 points of volume to go to the leadership training, and in 7 years, I never qualified. 2,500 points in business for the month. I never made it to one of those meetings. Never. But see, the environment that we have today is much different. See, I remember a time, and Jose Ardon is here. Where is he? I know he's here somewhere. I saw him earlier. He's here right now, and he can tell you, he can verify this. I never forget, we had a small little office where we would do our presentations in Houston. We had about 150, 170 chairs. And I remember the business was a little difficult in the beginning for Jose. He got started, and some of you probably think he went diamond in his first 90 days. No. I think his first check was something like $40-something. What was it, Jose? I forgot what was it? It didn't start off with all of these people, but Organo was growing, and so you had a group of people, they're growing, they're making money, and here you've got Jose Ardon, you got John Secturis struggling. They were struggling in the business. The same coffee that we were selling, it was difficult for them to sell. Same company, same compensation plan, same leadership. Couldn't sell it at all. It was difficult for them to give the coffee away. At that time, the biggest reason was they had a small vision about what this business really was supposed to do. See, when you take a Lamborghini and your goal is to only go 20 kilometers per hour, that's your dream, that's your goal. 20 kilometers per hour, and we give you the keys to the Lamborghini, one tends to think there's something wrong with the Lamborghini. They never designed a Lamborghini to be at 20 kilometers per hour for more than 1 second. It's not designed to cruise. It's designed to go as fast as the law will allow you to drive, and even beyond that. And I pulled Jose to the side, and I pulled John to the side, and I remember this, and you could ask him. And I brought him to the meeting. I said, listen, bring your entire group over to the meeting place. We got 175 chairs. They make all these phone calls through their entire organization, and less than 12 people showed up, maybe about 12 people. And I never forget, my goal was to share with them how to properly use the Lamborghini called Organo. Because they were using this Lamborghini and they were cruising along, and when they got into the meeting room that day, I never forget, I spoke with them and I looked at the 12. It was less than 20 people. It could have been more than 12, but I know that there was not 20 people. And they came there and they did their best to promote for this event. A special event with HB. And I said, bring your entire team, and there's less than 20. They had been in the business maybe, 3 months? 90 days they'd been in the business. Total of 20 people. Jose Ardon, John Secouris, 2 Crown ambassadors. Less than 20 people after 90 days. And I would go and watch what they were doing, and when they came to the meeting, here's what happened. They brought 20 people. And the reason I'm giving you this talk right now is because I want you to understand what your job is as the next leaders. When they brought the 20 people, there was 150 seats that were empty. So we're in this big room. 20 people, 150 empty chairs. And they were thinking that they needed a new technique. They were thinking maybe we should decrease the price. I told him, I says, Jose, John, listen. I don't know if the price is ever going to decrease, and we're not going to change our technique. But why I brought you here is because you don't know how to use this Lamborghini. And I want you to understand that you don't see the vision of how fast the Lamborghini should go. And I know that they thought I was crazy because all I started doing was talking to them about the future and sharing with them vision. And there's only one way for you to have vision and share vision, and that is for you to go to a higher place. This is why we give eagles to sapphires. Because see, eagles, they're not down on the ground. They're in a higher place, and they can see a little bit more or a lot more of the future than what you can actually see because they're up here. And I started walking around, and I never forget, here's what I did. And And I start talking to them, and this is what I shared with them. I want you to imagine all of these chairs in the back being empty back here. All of them. See, they thought the room was too big for the meeting. I said the room is too small for our vision. And they when they came to the meeting, you can ask them, they thought I was going to go on the whiteboard and say, here is how you sponsor. Here is how you sell the business. Here's how you follow up. I didn't do any of that. I'm not going to tell you how to sponsor. And I told them, just like I'm telling you, I say, listen, guys. I said, can you see it? They say, see what? I said, can you see how full this room is? Can you see all the people standing on the wall at the opportunity meeting? They looked around, they were like, no, there's 20 people here. I said, you don't see them? You don't hear the noise of the people? They probably thought, man, this guy's crazy. And I walked around and I shook the hand of every person that was in the meeting. All 250. Say, but Holton, there was only 20 people there. For a person with no vision. I didn't see 20 people. I saw the room completely full, 175 chairs, and 50 to 75 people standing on the walls. And every single chair, I went to every chair and I introduced myself to the person sitting in every chair. And I said, hi, how you doing? My name's Holton, nice to meet you. I'm talking to empty chairs. And every chair, and I went down the aisle just like this. Hey, how you doing? And I had a conversation with the people. Who invited you today? Oh, he invited you. Man, great. Nice to meet. Listen, after the meeting, let's talk a little bit about how we're going to get you started, okay? Nice to meet you. And I went to every chair. And I walked on the walls and I shook the hands of the people on the wall and I shared with them my vision for how this room was supposed to be. And I never trained them on one single technique. I never talked to them about how to get paid. I never talked to them about, what we're going to do to fix the issue. I shared with them a vision of where we were going because that's what a leader does. A leader doesn't stand and look at the present and say, here's what's wrong right now. A leader says, that's where we're going. That's where we're focusing. And ladies and gentlemen, I didn't do the work. I don't take credit for the work because I didn't do the work. It's not my job to come do the work for you. It's my job to share the vision. This is why you can't buy leadership. You can't buy vision. Leaders are developed. They're not born. Some of you think that you have a disadvantage because maybe your mom was not the leader that you thought she should have been. Maybe your father wasn't the leader that you thought he should have been. And so you're saying, I don't come from a long line of leaders. Leadership is not in your DNA. It's not in your blood type. Leadership is what you learn. There's not one person who's ever been born a leader. We're all born as babies, and that's it. And ladies and gentlemen, after I finished shaking the hands of all 270 plus people in that room and having conversations with all of those people, which took me probably about 35 minutes, they got it. They caught the vision. They understood at that moment what the purpose of a Lamborghini was for. And the biggest issue that they had at the time, and you can ask Jose, not one gold pack was being sold in their organization. None. Bronze pack here, silver pack there. If there was a gold pack, it was probably on accident. Somebody hit the wrong button. 3 weeks later, not 3 months, not 3 years, 3 weeks later, after someone showed them the vision of what was possible and what was supposed to be, 3 weeks later, same room, same coffee, same comp plan, same company, same problems. But 20 people with a different vision. I walked into the room and I could not get in. Over 300 people in the room for the opportunity meeting, and every person that I saw sitting in that seat showed up and fulfilled the vision that I passed on to them. Now hold on for a second before you clap, because it does not deserve applause, because that's what's supposed to happen. Applaud me for things that are extraordinary, not for what's normal. That's the normal. Do you applaud yourself for waking up in the morning? No. Why? You're supposed to. Do you applaud yourself for getting dressed? No, you're supposed to. Do you applaud yourself for just, driving or catching the bus? No, that's what you're supposed to do. Do you applaud yourself for just saying hello to your mom, your dad, your son, your daughter? No, that's what you're supposed to do. It's normal. And so what I'm talking to you about is that you've got to learn, if you want to become a leader, you've got to learn to make what's extraordinary, and it must become ordinary. You've got to make what's abnormal become the normal. Right now, you see a person go Sapphire in 30 days, and we jump up and down, and we're like, wow, I can't believe it. It should be normal. It should be just like taking your next breath. You don't have to focus on it. It just happens. But you got to see the vision first. Nothing in life has ever been accomplished without seeing it first. If you accomplish something without seeing it first, it's called an accident. Or some call it luck. So I'm walking around right now. Why am I out in the audience? I never come out in the audience when I'm doing Sapphire recognition, because this is not Sapphire recognition. Right now, I'm conducting a leadership training for all of the brand new Sapphires that had just achieved it within the last year. That's what this room is. This is a leadership training for Sapphires and above. You're sitting there thinking, you must didn't look at my back office last month. I just got started and I sponsored one person and 2 quit. That's what you see. I see a brand new Ruby right here. That's what I see. See, this is Sapphires and above. I see a brand new emerald sitting right here. How many people did you sponsor? 24? Good. How many legs you got working? 8? Good. Get to 12, then to 16, you'll go diamond, add a few more, you'll go blue diamond, and then we'll go black diamond, okay? Congratulations. See, everybody with vision, people look at them and think they're crazy. Why? Because we see the unseen. If I see what you see, I shouldn't be your leader. Because you can replace me with yourself because you see exactly what I see. The reason you need leadership is when people see things that you cannot see, and that's why you follow them. Congratulations. Brand new Ruby. Ready to go diamond? Yes. Do this. In English, this is yes, and in Italian, this is yes, okay? In German, this is yes. In every language, this is yes. Okay? So I want you to feel it right now. I want you to feel it. Remember, guys, all of these are the brand new sapphires. Look, I want you to take a look at look back here. Do you see all of those people wondering what we're talking about? Look at them outside. Do you see them? I'm sorry, guys. This is only for the qualified sapphires and above. I'm sorry. You can't come in right now. Wow. Can we get security to make sure that they don't come in? Make sure we watch the back doors, okay? This is only for our sapphires and above. If you ever want to be successful, you must practice being successful. You got to practice. It doesn't come on accident. It's not going to happen because you hope. It happens because you rehearse it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. See, there's some of you who's going to leave out of here feeling like you are the next Ruby, like you are the next Sapphire. You're going to finish this weekend and you're going to conduct yourself like you are the brand new Sapphire, Ruby, Emerald, or Diamond. And when you start to internalize it, and when you start to feel it, and when you start to act accordingly, you start to believe it. How many of you have ever seen people who lie to themselves so much that they start believing the lie? How do you think I became successful? I lied to myself. When my volume was nothing, I would always say to myself, I'm so excited being a diamond earning $20,000, $30,000 a month. This is long before Organo. And this is when my check was maybe $1,000 a month. And I would lie to myself and say it over and over and over again. And I would walk into the event, walk into the meeting, dressed like I was a diamond. I didn't spend the money on the suits that a diamond would spend because I didn't have it. But I made sure my tie was tied just like the diamonds would tie their knot. I made sure that the length of my pants was the same length as what the diamonds would do. I made sure that the color of my shirt was the same color as what I saw the diamonds wear. I made sure that my hair was neat. I made sure that my nails were trimmed. Why? Because in my bank account I had nothing. But up in here I was rich. And I tricked myself and I fooled myself into thinking that this guy who's got no money in the bank, this guy who couldn't even do 2,500 points per month, I tricked myself into believing that that guy was a millionaire. And I practiced it every single day. I didn't only practice when I came to events. I didn't only practice when I showed up at the opportunity meeting. I didn't only practice when I was around my upline. I didn't only practice when I was around the CEO. I didn't only practice when I was around my team. I practiced every moment of the day. I woke up in the morning and I felt like a diamond. Do you know what it feels to wake up and be a sapphire? Do you know what it feels like? Have you found a place in your home for your eagle? Do you talk to your eagle? Do you feed the eagle? Do you protect the eagle? If you're not willing to do that, you don't deserve the eagle. See, you've got to have the vision of where that eagle's going to be. See, we're about to walk some people across this stage. And I can tell you, those people that we're walking across this stage, they thought about Sapphire. They slept on it. They dreamed about it. They planned on it. They ate, breathed, and slept Sapphire for whatever period of time it took for them to achieve it. And then they went out and did something very simple. It's called work. Work is the easiest part of the achievement of Sapphire. It is. But practicing being a Sapphire is the most difficult thing you'll do. Because you've been taught to only believe what you see. And if you look in your back office and you don't see it, you don't believe it. And so it takes someone like myself to get up on stage and say, whoever taught you to believe what you see is wrong. Now I've got to take your mindset and erase 25 years of bad information and to tell you to believe first, see it later. I didn't wait until those 200 or 300 people showed up to believe it was possible. I saw those people in that meeting. I felt the heat from all of the bodies in that meeting. I felt it. I saw the different personalities. The only thing that I did not know was the name of each person in the seat. But I knew they were there. I saw them. It's just like right now. I'm looking at all of these sapphires and above. I can feel the excitement of what's about to happen. Because remember, this is the leadership training, but see, tomorrow starts the convention, and there's 10,000 people at the Unite event that you guys brought to the event because you chose to become a visionary. I didn't choose it. You chose it. It's not my vision. It's got to be your vision. It's got to be yours. Why not you? What's different between you and the next sapphire? Nothing. For every one of you sitting here, I can guarantee you, you've got talents that I don't have. Most of you in here, you've got more contacts than I have. Many of you in here, you've got more courage than I had at your level. I know you look at me and say, wow, he walks through the audience and he's so, wow, I wish I can do that. When my biggest fear still is speaking on stage. My biggest fear is talking to people. But once I get started, it's over. My biggest fear is starting the conversation. But I learned a long time ago that what cures fear? Action. Action cures fear. What's separating you right now between you sitting there and holding your eagle? Fear. Fear. And I don't know what your fear is, but I know you have it because I've got mine. Please don't give me the person who has no fears, because they'll never accomplish anything. Give me somebody who's afraid. Give me somebody who's shaking in their boots. Give me somebody who's like me, wondering and all of the thinking that possibly can happen bad, but they're willing to put forth that first step of action. Give me that person, and I'll get in the trenches and build something with that person. Don't give me the person who says, I ain't afraid of nothing. Because some of you stand up, I ain't afraid of nothing. And that's just you saying that because you're afraid of everything. I know who you are. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand, fear is nothing but energy. That's all it is. Fear is nothing but fuel. Channeled in the right place, it produces results. Everything that I accomplished that everybody thought was major, I was afraid to do it first. So the thing that you are afraid of doing is waiting on you so that you can get your prize. Embrace the fear. Be glad that you have the fear, but go claim your prize. You guys are some of the hardest workers. You guys are some of the most passionate distributors that we have all over the entire world. This is why I don't see this as the Unite. I see this as the Unite Sapphire and Above leadership training. And from this moment on, I want you conducting yourself as a new Sapphire. I want you feeling as a new Sapphire. I want you understanding that you've got people who are walking across the stage in your group that's actually receiving their eagle as a brand new Sapphire as well. Think about it. It's going to feel unnatural at first. You're going to feel like, wow, this doesn't make sense. It's supposed to feel that way. Because once you start to take the action, the first steps of taking the action towards your fears, it's unnatural. Why? Because you only practice doing things that you're not afraid of.